Welcome back to Dummy Boy Finance. I'm Dummy Boy and we're gonna get straight into our explosive penny stock watch list. So we're looking at HUMBL here on the daily time frame. Another solid day today, up 8.83%. Our MACD is starting to cross over, absolutely bullish here. We are getting to our resistance level, and so if we break past this level, this thing is going to have a nice little run up. We did have nice engagement along our 50 SMA, and so everything right now on HUMBL looks absolutely beautiful. I just want to show you guys the history of the stock. And so while we were running up here in December, you can see we were well above our 50 SMA. We never actually got that back test. And so the fact that we got our back test here and we bounced up, I would not be surprised in the slightest if we see a crazy jump to the upside. And so when I see a stock that has been kind of hugging this 50 SMA for so long, I look at this bull flag, I kind of just use this distance right here from the top to the bottom of this wedge as a nice little level that I would want to see TSNP jump. And so that would coincide with a jump of about $5. And so that's an extreme jump, but with a breakout here and a nice little consolidation that we had at this 50 with a crossover on our MACD, it does look like TSNP is ready to explode. Very excited to watch this one. All the technicals and the stars are lining up nicely here for TSNPD. Next stock of the day, we're looking at SNDL on the daily time frame. So we were down 6.92% and we actually closed below our 50 SMA. And so that was a very tough close. On the daily, you could see our MACD is curling now towards a negative territory. So this is looking extremely bearish right now for SNDL. So we did have a positive MACD, and if we start to cross over into the negative, that would be a sell signal on SNDL and to cut your losses, because it does look like this one would start to go further. And so right now the trajectory does let us know that, but obviously we don't know yet if this MACD is going to get negative. If we get a couple green days, this will curl back up, but we do need to see that curl up. Otherwise, it is looking very bearish on a short-term outlook for SNDL. Next stock of the day, we're looking at IGEN on the daily time frame. So we were down 3% today, and another day of testing our 50 SMA and holding. And so we held the 50 and we closed above. And so we have just kind of been trading right along this 50 SMA. And so our MACD is slightly negative, it looks like. And so if we don't get any green days in the next coming days, our MACD will turn to negative, and that will not look good in the short term. So IGEN does need some good news to lift it up, and I know the management has a lot of good news. I don't know why they are not releasing anything, because now would be a very good opportunity to put out some good news, turn this MACD positive, and start the next leg up. And so right now on IGEN, we are still bullish, but we are getting close to breaking down here on a technical level. So these next couple of days, we really want to see a nice jump to the upside if we want to maintain this momentum to the upside. Next stock of the day, we're looking at WDLF on the 30-minute time frame. So we were down 4.35% here on Social Life Network. I did end up buying more here on WDLF. And so right now, what we want to see tomorrow is us hold this level of support. But again, I would love to see a back test of our 50 SMA. We haven't had one in a very long time. And so I would not be surprised to see WDLF break down from this uptrend line, have a false little bear trap, and then we continue on to the upside once we get that back test. And so that is kind of the worst case that I'm anticipating right here. And that would kind of look like us trading on this triangle, breaking down around this point, carrying out this pattern till about the beginning of April, and by then our 50 will match and it'll enter this channel. And then if we get a bounce, that would be extremely bullish. And so that is kind of my worst case scenario happening here with WDLF. And so if we get to that point, I will be there to buy more here on Social Life Network. Next stock of the day, we're looking at SEGI on the 30-minute time frame. So SEGI's had a tough couple days, down 10.65%. And so because I didn't know about the restrictions that I personally had buying into this stock, I know there's a lot of you that probably have the same restrictions, and that is definitely going to have an impact on SEGI. Obviously, if you can't have people buying a security, then obviously how are you going to get it to go up? And so I don't like the fact that there are those restrictions. I still do believe that this company is going to have a great outlook for the future, and these are very cheap prices to buy at. But again, that is just one thing that shareholders and investors should be paying attention to. And so I have mentioned right here that our level at around 0.038 is our last level of support. That is a level where you would want to double down your position on SEGI and then wait for that run up. And so right now we have just kind of been just bleeding back and forth here on SEGI, trying to find a true bottom. If we can't hold the 0.038, it does not look good for SEGI. Next stock of the day, looking at MJNA. So MJNA got crushed today. So after all that consolidation, we were down 15%. So we did close below our 50 SMA, and that is a very scary drop here on MJNA. And so this would have been a level to have stop losses set and cut your losses. And so with MJNA on the daily time frame, our MACD did kind of peak to the negative, and so that looks extremely bearish. So this would have been a sell signal on MJNA to cut your losses, because there could be a lot more downside pressure if our MACD carries on in this trajectory. So that's kind of how you'd want to play stop losses. Sometimes you time them, sometimes you don't. I do believe if you hold this long enough from these levels, you are going to make money. But on a technical basis, and traders alike, that would have been a signal to have stop losses set, cut your losses, and then look for a re-entry. Next stock of the day, we're looking at ALYI on the daily time frame. So we're only down 3% to close the day, but we were down as much as I think 15% intraday. And so you can see right here, we did bleed down, but we are holding above our 50 SMA. And so similarly to IGEN, this is a level that obviously, as long as we are above, we are bullish. But we want to maintain this trajectory, and we want to bounce off this very nicely. So our MACD right now is just fighting here with our signal line. We did scoop up, we are positive, and so we would love to see a couple green days to just shift this trajectory upwards, and that would be absolutely bullish. Right now we are just kind of at a standstill here for ALYI, trying to find a bottom here, and it does look like we might find one on this 50 SMA. Next stock of the day, we're looking at HYSR on the daily time frame. So we're down 5.39%, and we close right on our 100-day SMA. And so we have been finding a bottom here on our 100-day SMA. And so just as a point of reference, anytime you can get a stock at a 100-day SMA, there is a good probability you do make money if you hold the stock long enough. And that's just one thing I want you guys to understand. So if you are an HYSR and you are buying up right now, if you hold this long enough, you probably will make some money on it. But we don't like to buy a stock that's kind of just trading sideways, because there are other opportunities you can deploy your money, return more capital, and then potentially even buy this at a lower price later on. And so with the outlook right here on a technical level, it does not look like a promising setup right now. Yes, we are finding a base here, and yes, we are above our signal line, and as long as we are above our signal line, we are bullish. But because our MACD is negative, it does not show a promising setup just yet. Next stock of the day, looking at ACDC on the daily time frame. And so we're down 1%, but nothing really going on here. We are still trading right along our uptrend. Absolutely beautiful price action. One thing I actually just noticed, I can't believe I didn't mention this earlier, is we have a gap here at 28 cents. And so I didn't even notice that we had this gap, but we have not filled this gap yet. And so that actually makes me a little bit fearful in the short term that ACDC might actually get a run down all the way down to this 27 cents level, in which we would fill this gap, and then we would potentially make our way back up. And so because I am just seeing this gap right now, I just want you guys to be careful here on ACDC. This has been a nice accumulation level, but this gap to fill has to get filled eventually. And so always just keep this in the back of your head that there is going to have some downside pressure at some point along this year. And so all the technicals right now for ACDC look pretty bullish. We have our MACD starting to curl up. We are holding above support on an uptrend, but this gap right here does make me wonder, when will that get filled? Next stock of the day, we're looking at HITIF here on the daily time frame. And so we were up today again 1.15%. We are breaking above our channel right here. However, we do have a gap to fill here at 82 cents. And so I do believe that's going to happen tomorrow. I think we are going to have a red day tomorrow and we will fill this gap here to the downside on the 30-minute time frame. Yeah, you can see the gap clear as day right here. And so that would make us drop down. And I think we will still continue to trade in this channel. I don't think we are about to break out just yet. I believe once we get down to these points, we will get that interaction with our 50 SMA, and then we will start to make a move up. And so don't get amped just yet on high tide. We still have a couple more weeks left till we break out. There you guys have it. That is our quick little update on all the explosive stocks on our penny stock watch list. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like. We are on the road to 10K subs, so if you made it to this point, feel free to hit that subscription button. This is Dummy Boy Finance. I'm Dummy Boy, and I'll see you guys in the next one.